This is John Paul Rice, some people call me. Alright, so about 4 days ago, I missed a story where Scorsese, the famous director, said something like, Marvel movies aren't actual cinema. So let me just recap on that real quick so I could talk about what Robert Downey Jr. said about Scorsese's comment, and, well, I'll get into whether I agree or disagree. So let's take a look at the original comment. Here you could see Martin Scorsese says Marvel movies aren't cinema, they're theme parks. And he says specifically, I don't see them, I try, you know? But that's not cinema, Scorsese told the magazine. Honestly, the closest I can think of them, as well made as they are, with actors doing the best they can under the circumstances, is theme parks. It isn't the cinema of human beings trying to convey emotional, psychological experiences to another human being. Alright, so I'm sure there's some controversy in the community about this, and I'm not a huge Marvel fan. I like Marvel, I respect Marvel, and I think the movies are damn well made, but I understand what he's saying. And the one thing that gets me is this. When I saw Infinity War, the humor really got to me. It really took me out of the movie. This was like an anticipated Avengers movie with huge sets, huge action. There was a joke like literally every 2 minutes. So when that kind of thing happens, it kind of pulls me out. Could you guys imagine Goodfellas or The Departed with like a joke every 2 minutes? Like, oh, I shot. Oh, you shot. Oh, look at that. Look at your jacket. What are you eating? Like some stupid joke every 2 minutes? Like, alright, don't get me wrong. I think Infinity Wars, in a way, is kind of a masterpiece. One of the best superhero movies ever made, and one of the top movies as far as the action genre in general. But I see what he's saying about the human emotion, because I don't look at those movies where they get into me deep or I think about them. They're fun movies and they're great for what they are. So what I'm saying is, I understand where he's coming from. I repeated myself on that. Let's get into the other article at Robert Downey Jr. Okay, so here is the article where Robert Downey Jr. responds to Martin Scorsese on the Howard Stern show, and they got a clip. So they put in the context here about what Scorsese said, which was what I just read to you, his quote from the previous article, and let's see what Downey Jr.'s response is.
According to Scorsese, it's not cinema. I got to take a look at that, you know?
Well, why did he say that?
Because it's his opinion. And
but it is cinema, isn't it?
I mean, it plays in theaters.
Yeah, well, what did he mean by that it's not cinema?
I appreciate his opinion because I think it's like anything. We need all of the different perspectives so we can come to center and move on. Your therapy.
No, come on.
You're therapized.
No, you're being too nice.
Magnanimous, it's called.
No, really. Were you insulted when he said that it's not cinema? That somehow Iron Man isn't cinema? It is cinema to me.
It'd be like saying Howard Stern isn't radio. It is. It makes no sense.
But what was he
trying?
Was he jealous of the success?
Of course not. But I mean, he's Martin Scorsese.
So what does he mean by it?
I think in his view, and by the way, there's a lot to be said for how these genre movies, and I was happy to be part of the problem if there is one.
Right.
Were denigrated the art form of cinema. And by the way, when you come in like a stomping beast and you eliminate the competition in such a demonstrative way, it's phenomenal.
It is phenomenal. And maybe he's upset about you know what it is? You get older, you're used to cinema being a certain way.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
Do you actually think Martin Scorsese is upset about Marvel movies?
Yes. Yes, I do. Okay. Because he's the guy who's busy archiving films, and he has
He's archived my dad's films. And by the way, I appreciate his point of view. Robin, what do you think?
Well, he's commenting on it.
Yeah, and why not?
I don't know. It's kind of a knock. I mean, the fact is...
All right, so I think the key point here is that, like they were getting at, is Scorsese doesn't quite see it like he sees movies from the past as you go in, it's emotional, it's all built up, it's a finely weaved story about some human character. It's kind of like these punches and action and all this stuff's going on and all this CGI is in your face. And I think probably the nail was hit in the head when, I think Howard said it's just not like the cinema he's used to, but it is in fact cinema. Let's get that out of the way. I'm not agreeing that Marvel's not cinema. I mean, it is in fact cinema. It's just a different type of cinema than I think the generations before us were used to. And I will say it's more of like an action-based kind of trendy type of cinema, if you get what I mean. It's more like kind of like hit hard, catch the audience, set up for part 2, set up for part 3, set up the series, go, go, go. And Scorsese's kind of like, let's make one masterpiece, let's have these characters really stick in your head, let's really get under the skin, and it's going to be remembered forever, this one thing. Goodfellas, or The Departed, you know, maybe The Irishman. He's planning on having like this really heavy emotional thing and this really great story that he sees more of, like, oh, Ant-Man, oh, Thor, oh, Hulk, Spider-Man, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 10, and like, you know, 12 Spider-Man movies. So it's, I mean, a different type of cinema I think he was getting at. Let's see what James Gunn said. And I don't really give a rat's ass too much, because I know a lot of you guys might just move on with James Gunn and forgive him and this and that. And like, I'm not holding nothing against him. I'm not going to boycott his movies or anything, but I think the guy's weird. But anyway, let's see what he has to say. So he says, Martin Scorsese is one of my 5 favorite living filmmakers. I was outraged when people picketed The Last Temptation of Christ without having seen the film. I'm saddened that he's now judging my films in the same way. James Gunn goes on, that said, I will always love Scorsese, be grateful for his contribution to cinema, and can't wait to see The Irishman. Then he says again, I'm not saying religious zealotry is the same as not liking my movies or the same category. What I'm saying is I'm not fond of people judging things without actually seeing them, whether it's a movie about Jesus or a genre. So he's kind of getting a little off track with the movie about Jesus, but you know, it doesn't sound like he's too happy about what Scorsese said. And by the way, for the record, I absolutely love Guardians of the Galaxy. You won't find me saying nice things about James Gunn, but it's not to the point where I can't judge his movies clearly. Guardians of the Galaxy was, I don't know, probably, I love sci-fi, and that was like the perfect mix of like Marvel movie and sci-fi. I love it. So don't get me wrong, you know, James Gunn and how I feel about his kind of weirdness has nothing to do with me judging his movies. His movies are excellent. Anyway, you guys let me know what you think about that down below. Do you agree with Scorsese? Do you disagree? As you can see, I've got mixed feelings. I'm somewhere in the middle. He's kind of playing semantics with the word cinema. Actually, it's kind of like a non-issue. Fact is, like I've said, I kind of get what he's saying. It's kind of like there's 2 different types of cinema now. Anyway, I'm doing shout-outs, special thanks. Let's do a shout-out right this second. Shout-out goes to Tommy. I see him, you know, supporting a lot of channels. He mods over at John Talks. I do too when I get a chance. And cool guy. Check him out. Smash that subscribe button. Click it. Press it. Whatever you gotta do. I'm getting tired as freaking hell. See you next time.